Google will censor election information, they say, out of an abundance of caution ahead of elections in 2024 in India. Now, is there any reason to think they won't do this as well in the 2024 elections in the United States? Well, duh, right? But let's look at what they're saying their plan is, because of course, we know that Google results are biased and that has an effect on elections. But let's look. Okay, so what Google is saying is that they are going to censor elections in the run up to what's being called the largest democratic election in human history. Next month, India will go to the polls. Prime Minister Modi is expected to be reelected, but this is being called the biggest election in history because an estimated 960 million people in a country of 1.4 billion are eligible to vote. That's massive. Modi is polarizing for several reasons, so Google will take it upon itself to solve that by what they're calling support. Here is their plan to support the next election. Now, some of this is what we would normally expect, what you Google, let's say, where do I register to vote? How do I vote? Right? In the United States, you're used to doing that. Where's my polling station? That kind of thing. So, of course, they're working with election officials to provide real information just in case, and this is certainly valid, somebody comes in and runs an ad for a fake place to vote so that your vote doesn't count. Of course, they're going to run defense on that. But also they say that they will rank YouTube videos according to authoritative sources, which of course means mainstream media and fewer independent channels like ours. And here is where they bring in the misinformation point. You know, we were coming to it. They say they will be using AI to combat misinformation for things that are demonstrably false. Now, the problem here is what they say they're going to rely on is their community guidelines. Well, that's something that we here on Redacted have to live and die on. And it is a moving target, to say the least. Also, they change all the time. We just talked about the Russian elections. It's hard to tell what's true or false based on what's being reported. The mainstream media, an authoritative source, didn't even try to get coverage of the election correct. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. They're going to use AI?
That's what I just said.
I know. They're going to use AI, which, you know, we saw their first foray into AI over the past few weeks with their Gemini project, which when you punch in information about, you know,
a white person,
show me a white person.
Yeah.
You know, we can't do that. That's racist.
Oh, yeah. You asked to see the founding fathers, you get a Chinese lady.
Yeah. So good. They've really, really proven themselves with AI.
Right.
So election stability is in their hands.
Exactly right. And so currently, YouTube lists exactly which elections you can and cannot say are legit. Here they have not a complete list, but you can see it's these. Well, I feel like I can't even say it. Can we put that on the screen? Yeah, not that one. The next one. Here at the bottom, I'm not going to say it because I am on YouTube right now. And when you say these words, you get flagged. So if you take a look at some of these elections, you cannot talk about election integrity. You cannot talk about candidate eligibility. Where do you think that came from? Maybe the birther movement. You cannot incite to interfere with the democratic process, such as encouraging others to interfere with the democratic process. Of course, that is a very slippery slope, right? And of course, you can't engage in voter suppression or giving wrong information. Now, we saw in the Twitter files when people sort of posted jokes about where to, you know, register to vote, like stupid ones that were obviously false, such as, oh, yeah, you know, go to vote in a porta potty or something stupid, right? That the federal government even suppressed things like that. And then, you know, labeled those people dangerous. So we know that this is not a perfect solution. Even today, when I asked Google's AI program if the Russian elections were illegitimate, says, I'm still learning how to answer that question. Well, who's teaching it is the question. What does that teach us that it will do in the upcoming U.S. election? Again, duh. We know that it will give priority to left-leaning sources and candidates, and favorable stories about those people and those platforms will be prioritized, while it will surface damaging stories about conservatives or conservative politics. In fact, that was allegedly proven in a new report saying that they interfered with elections and have been doing so since 2008. Now, what they mean by that exactly is a lot of what we're talking about right now. They presented biased search results, disallowed or downranked ads from right-leaning candidates. This report does come from a conservative group. They're called the Media Research Center, but let's just see what they say. They're saying that when you go to Google News, this All Sides data shows that it completely eliminated all links to right-leaning media outlets while generously linking to left-leaning media outlets for articles related to Trump-Biden elections. And look at the data on how much of 88% when you Google Trump, 88% of them were directing you towards MSNBC, CNN.
Oh, yeah. You'll never, if you want information about Trump and you type in, there's no way that they're going to link you to like a Gateway Pundit article or a Daily Caller article.
Right.
Never.
Or anything even remotely contextualizing what the president has said or did say during his administration or during his campaigns. Even if he says something, for instance, the bloodbath story over the weekend was in reference to an economic bloodbath, which we're here. Right? This is it. You're living it, which he warned about. If Biden was elected, you would have $5 gas, $5 per gallon gas, record inflation. That's happening, but he warned about it becoming worse. And Democrats then took to MSNBC and CNN and said, see, he's inciting violence again. And that is the headline that you got if you were to look up the bloodbath story over the weekend. Again, I'm not saying that that's a super intellectual thing to say, but you deserve context if a major presidential candidate says that, and you won't get that. Now, here are the recommendations from the Media Research Group. They're saying that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson should direct relevant committees to investigate Google's influence on elections. Again, though, I don't know, congressional committees, they don't do that much. They sort of refer, but okay. I would watch it. I guess we would cover it. They say state legislatures should resolve any questions about whether Google is a common carrier so that they can regulate it. And they say Americans really should stop using Google products, especially for your media and your knowing of things. Now, it's worth keeping in mind that a judge recently dismissed a lawsuit from Republicans claiming that Gmail suppresses Republican email campaigns. Now, the judge didn't say that Google doesn't do this. In fact, the judge said it was a close case, but that Republicans hadn't succeeded in arguing that Google was doing this in bad faith. It's clear they do it, but Republicans hadn't argued that their intention was bad. So it happens. And this will probably continue to happen on your iPhone because the news today is that Apple may license Google Gemini to the iPhone. So if you were then to use AI on your iPhone.
Oh, my God.
I know. I expected you to burst into tears into this. And it's interesting because Tim Cook had said, we will invest heavily in AI. Does that mean they would license it from this highly problematic software, or will they build it out themselves?
Well, the thing with Apple is that they've always done machine learning. So it's not cloud-based AI. Like Siri uses machine learning and is on device, right? So it's not using, it's not like, well, it's not living in a cloud somewhere like Google, right? So it's different. So now they're going to rely on Google for this?
That's the reporting.
Garbage.
Wasn't Google wasn't it Google that paid into Reddit to be able to, for the opportunity to scrub Reddit comments for AI learning? Was that the
Did
Gemini?
they?
That sounds about right.
I believe it was Google, but that'll just be, I mean, can you imagine if we're getting all of our information from scrubbing Reddit subreddits? I mean, that's, we're doomed.
Yeah, we are too. Oh my God.
Yikes. Now, obviously, we don't want that to be the case. We have a vested interest in YouTube having a commitment to free speech because here we are right now. We want YouTube to get better. We want the AI to get better and more contextual and less biased. We want that, right? But we are also suspicious of any conclusion that they put towards us. And for me, personally, anytime I see the algorithm wants me to think something, I'm inclined to look up the opposite. So beware of what you are able to see and what you are not. Let us know what you think this will turn into in the upcoming elections, either in India or the United States or beyond.
I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. You know, YouTube thinks that you'll actually like this next video right here. It's personalized based on your own viewing habits. So if you watch the video, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. And we will see you next time, everyone.